Last week on Behind the Gate, the action was explosive in Agada as Tim Geiser took the MXGP fight to Tony Cairoli under the Portuguese sun, taking advantage of some rare Sicilian mistakes to take a 1-1 for his second GP win of the year, while Arno Tonus had the widest smile in the paddock after finding himself on the podium for the first time in over 2 years. Jorge Prado continued his record of winning every race he's entered this season, and with that taking the red plate from previous incumbent Thomas Kier Olsen, vowing to keep it for the rest of the year. Meanwhile, Honda were absolutely stoked to see Mitch Evans take the second podium of his debut season. Fast forward a week and here we are at the Nouvelle Aquitaine region of France, ready to take on the track at Saint-Jean d'Angely for the second successive year. In 2018, this was just another stop for the Jeffrey Hurling's juggernaut in MXGP, leaving Cairoli and Geiser trailing in his dust. This an opportunity for those two in the Flying Dutchman's absence. MX2 saw Thomas Covington push Prado to the limit to claim the GP win, the Spaniard hoping for more of the same in 2019 as he looks to extend his championship lead. The forecast is for a mix of sunshine, showers and the occasional thunderstorm, all served up with a side order of world-class motocross, right here at the MXGP of France.
Paulin takes us for a spin around this Saint-Jean d'Angely circuit. About 100 metres to turn 1. It's tight, it's uphill. Flicking direction to go through turn 2. A nice wide open turn. Those at the front will immediately double their way through before hitting this single. Sometimes there's a bit of carnage through turn 3 before they drop down. Normally this part of the racetrack gets quite rutty. It depends how deep they rip it for race day, but bottom of the hill, over the Iphone step up, the single here into what is normally the final corner on the racetrack because we head down towards the Monster Energy finish line jump here. And when we land, we hit this 90-degree right, get on the gas. The stones are starting to come through already. The light stones you can see on the top of the surface when they dry out is going to be quite slippery for the riders. Uphill triple if you can get over it, but then on the brakes hard into the first of several 180 switchbacks. This one is left into a step down, and it's hard on the brakes into this bottom 180 right. Expect there to be a lot of ruts there as well. Short, sharp climb. This left-hander, that inside rut gets very deep. You always see riders getting stuck there during the weekend. Easy on the gas through this uphill section. Then you get on the gas here, launch onto this plateau. We go even higher still, the highest point of the racetrack, this Monster Energy double jump. Through the 90 right, hit the city downhill. A lot calmer than it was in years gone by, and then it's a 180 left, taking us back uphill in the opposite direction. Double towards the top, and then if you use the inside here, you can double into the first of 3 waves. Short, sharp scrub jump, another series of waves, and then just as you peel right, you're on an upslope there, so you've got to be easy on the gas. This downhill, a lot steeper than it looks. An outside line might work, but the inside line always gets really rocky. Underneath, very slippery as well. Dropping down here, back onto the start straight, past pit lane, into turn 1, and that's a lap here at Saint-Jean d'Angely.
make a change from EMX 250 to MX2 this year. First of all, because we have a very, very good young rider, you know, and we follow him for 6 years. It's Brian Morrow. So it's our goal, you know, to bring the rider from the 85 class to the GP class. And for Mitch Harrison, he replaced the injured rider we had at the beginning of the season. And we follow Mitchell for many years. So it was a choice, and we believe in him, and he starts to be more and more comfortable in the Euro tracks, and we hope to get good results very soon.
The main differences racing here and back in the States is that it seems like the start is more of a crucial point to the race. If I get a bad start here, it's hard to get back into the top 15, where in America you can definitely get back in the top 10. Also, the way you set up your suspension, here you have to set it up a lot softer, where in America you have to have more of a hard, stiffer setting. You know, I'm figuring it out one by one, but definitely the starts is the major thing. I can learn a lot more over here, it can make me a better rider, and really I can grow as a person, so I'd like to be over here for 2020.
The big changement from the EMX to the World Championship was that every rider are like more consistent. When you start really like from the back, you know, from behind, like it's really tough, you know, to come back. Yeah, I got unlucky in Argentina. I crashed in the beginning of the weekend, and then yeah, to break my arm I was really bumped, you know. Now it's past, I feel better. My goal is to get some good starts and to stay in the front, and then yeah, to finish the races, and then like, to build, you know. To be here for my home GP, it's such a good vibe. I know Saint-Jean-d'Angély's track since a while, because I was used to come riding every Wednesday after school. I know it perfectly, even though it changed a bit. Also happy, you know, that my mom is going to see me, because it's been a long time that she didn't see me riding.
MX2 race 1, another lightning start for Jorge Prado. Charging down into turn 1, he grabbed his 8th foxhole shot of the season, closely followed here by Michele Chervelin on the Yamaha. Also well placed Brian Moreau, but it didn't last long. On the first downhill, the Bud Racing Kawasaki rider ended up biting the dirt. Zach Pichon, though, made a good start. He was running top 6. 101 on the Honda, but a man in a hurry was the 193 of Jago Geerts. Around the first few corners, he was around 7th, while his teammate Ben Watson was in a bit of a spin. Collided with Mitchell Harrison of the United States. Jago Geerts, though, soon found himself into 3rd and then into 2nd with that pass on Chervelin, as Thomas Olsen, suffering from poor starts all weekend, was having to do it from the back again. Finally made his way past Adam Sterry to move himself up into 4th place, then Chervelin fell. That handed another position to the Dane, number 19 on the Husqvarna. Sterry was looking solid, but so too was his teammate. Henry Jacobi took advantage of a mechanical misfortune of 959 Maxime Renault, and then was directly in the firing line of his teammate. Tom Vial was not too far behind either. Jacobi eventually went through on his teammate to briefly get himself into 5th. But then, just moments later, the 29 lost the front, went down, bit the dirt, got nailed by Vial as he came through. Jacobi would eventually come home in 8th place. Chervelin was still looking good though. But then Vial pushed his way through as well. That put the Frenchman into 4th, and the French fans absolutely loved every minute of it. The latter stages of the race though, we started to witness something special. Jago Geerts on the Monster Energy Khmer Yamaha narrowed down a 3-second gap, went after Jorge Prado, made the pass on the Spaniard, and went on to take his first ever win in MX2. Doesn't take a genius these days to work out who hits the foxhole shot line first, and once again it was the 61. This time, foxhole shot number 9 for Jorge Prado. Brian Moreau made a much better start and managed to keep it on 2 wheels for the first lap. Vial, though, he fell. Picked himself up, rejoined the race, but it wouldn't be the first time we would see the Frenchman on the floor. Bas Varsen also made a good start, was inside the top 10. Once again, just like race 1, the 19 of Thomas Olsen was having a charge through, found his way past Maxime Renault. That was Vial's second mistake of the race. Watson, though, was running up in second place, this time being closely followed by his teammate, the race 1 winner, Jago Geerts. By lap 8, the Belgian was all over the Brit, and he made a neat pass at the top of one of the hills. Watson, though, wasn't taking it lying down, forced back down the inside of the Belgian, but Geerts had better corner speed and made sure of the pass this time around. The question was, though, could he do anything about Jorge Prado? The 29 of Jacobi had one of those races, eventually coming home in 17th, as the 19 continued to push on. This time past Moreau. Moreau responded immediately. These two were fighting for 6th and 7th at the time. Number 43, Mitch Evans of Australia, got himself onto the rear wheel of Watson as they battled over 3rd. But up front, Jorge Prado was slowly being caught again by Geerts, but he lost the front. He went down, but he didn't give up. And he continued to push and close in on the race leader as Olsen had to settle for 5th on the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna. It was a solid day at the office for the 193 of Jago Geerts, but Jorge Prado seemed to have race 2 all under control. It was he who crossed the line for his 11th race win of the season. He took the overall from Jago Geerts and Thomas Olsen. Prado now has a 14-point lead over Olsen. It was 3 before we came here to France. Your podium here this weekend then, Jorge Prado, Jago Geerts and Thomas Olsen. The Spaniard continues to hold the red plate as we head to Russia.